Hello, hello. Let me do a quick check-in with one page of Prrt and Olivier in America. This is in a Olivier section of the book, and they're on board, and Parrot's paramour, um, Mathilda, is um, is doing paintings of various people, and she does a painting of a banker, Peak, and and Olivier's reaction to it, like, was this so-called likeness not my nightmare of democracy? The fishwife taken to be a great lady, the banker strutting as a noble lord? Was this not the red-clawed creature I had fled? Was I now running to its open arms, to a place where I was instructed to share my cabin with my servant? Um, and So we've got this whole setup of Olivier, apparently going to be Alec, kind of, it's a inspiration, a kind of improvisation of Alex de Tocqueville, um, and of a great observer of democracy. And so we know what he's literally coming in on the ship, what his attitudes are towards democracy. It's like democracy, this is like a fake thing. It's people becoming something else. And Olivier is shown as he's literally myopic. He can't see. He says that's part of the reason why he's not usually that particularly that interested in art. And indeed, he seems to only have rather carnal desires towards the artist, the female artist in this thing. And she actually is more kind of turned on by her smell than anything else, because that's one of the senses that does work for him. But he also talks about how, you know, I reflected that my unease with most of the arts might not only be a product of my myopia, but a moral scruple and unease in beholding that which is not. And he kind of goes on to say how he would get asthma when he witnessed his parents acting on a stage. Um, and, on more than one occasion, I wept and screeched until she removed her makeup so that I should know her for what she really was. Um, so but at the same time, he also has a passion to be done in oils. And indeed, when he describes it later, it's a sensual, very, very sensual thing for him. He feels like the paintbrushes are tickling him in a way, or caressing him. But there's also things in this of, Peake, the banker, saying that he declared his mucky portrait was the best bargain he had ever made. That idea, and that the ability to judge value, he told me, was really the great business of being a farmer. And this is why, he said, he had made such a success of being a banker in America. How dear Blackville, this is his departed friend, killed in the duel before he left, would have laughed and marveled and puzzled, not only at this notion of the bargain, but at the mercurial world of the Americans, who had more stages in their lives than caterpillars. So that, this thing of, again, like, not being what you are, uh, kind of like he's got thing of like, oh, there's a core thing of what you are, but there's the American thing of getting to transform throughout your life from a farmer to a banker, such, or from someone who's poor to someone who's high in a society. It's interesting how Carrie uses little italics and stuff, and things like you know um, he decided he wanted to get his done. To achieve this set, they addressed the set, and to achieve this set was no question. The servant must be evicted. The servant that he didn't particularly want in his room, Parrot. Um, a course of action applauded by the majority in italics. I was then persuaded to the captain's chair, where I was deposed. But that idea of like the majority ruling is also this thing that's very foreign to him. It's like he comes from a society where most definitely the majority shouldn't be the ones. And I mean, they've gone through a revolution where the majority kind of came out and said no, and stuff like that. I was also interesting to note that this dear Blackville, I think, is supposed to be Beaumont in the real world. And Beaumont in the real world was not killed in a duel, but accompanied his friend throughout his travels, and was greatly overshadowed by his friend, even though they were both kind of authors of the book. Tocqueville got the credit, and he seems to have been somebody who kind of devoted a lot of his life, Blackville, to promoting Tocqueville, and of completing his works and stuff like that, like shepherding his works through. But this is Olivier, who has Parrot a English servant instead. So it makes you interested, like, what will happen to this Olivier versus to Tocqueville. It's like maybe he wouldn't have as illustrious of a career now that he, instead of having uh, Blackville, Beaumont, he's going to have Prrt, somebody who's actually maybe actively working against him. We've had the stuff here of he's the copyist, Prrt is the copyist, and he's changing words, you know, out of mischief, out of spite. We'll see. He's trying to edge in on his girl at this point as to um, Mathilda Christian. Mathilda Mathilda Christian. It's going to be another name I should probably look up on how to say so I don't make an ass of myself when I finally do a review. So yeah, that's page 124 of Prrt and Olivier in America. I figured I'd just stop and do a little chat on that. All right, with my very harsh light from my book light here, which actually allows me to read. All right, more videos later.